Hi. So, I don't really mean to spam out videos because this will be my third video today, but I had the time, and also my other two videos has been very fun and lighthearted and uh, has been more for the hell of it than being something substantial. And I wanted to, well, you have a little fun and you have a little bit of seriousness too. And I wanted to take up a topic that I think is sometimes important to discuss within New Age and the occult, and that is a feeling of guilt. Now, the exact guilt I'm talking about is that in several areas of the New Age and occult and pagan mindsets, um, it is said that you choose your own. In some way, you choose your own suffering. So that if you are sick, you have somehow chosen it yourself. And in one, that makes me know why I've started to think about this now. Like I said, on the alternative fair, I was uh, on a lecture about NLP coaching, and I asked the lecturer if she had been treating some people with Asperger's syndrome because uh, I think that treating someone with Asperger and autism would be a little bit different than treating many other people with such a tool because we often think a bit differently. And she said that, yeah, but no, she hadn't done it, but some of her colleagues had, and they had good results with it. And among other things, they would try to find out why I had chosen to have Asperger's. And I felt it boil a bit in me. Now, I'm not saying the lecture was great, and the woman that held it was very nice, and she seemed to be very knowledgeable, but that idea sort of it hit a negative chord with me because, like, no, I love myself, and I am grateful for who I am, and having Asperger's is part of who I am. I mean, I don't go around and think that, oh, if life had been so great if I hadn't had Asperger's. So, but of course it has been a problem quite often for me, and it has been a problem for my mother, who raised me alone, and she had it incredibly tough raising a child with special needs. And like also, I'm on disability. Haven't been able to uh, have have a normal job because of my disability, and that sort of wounds my pride and also makes me sometimes feel like I'm only a burden. And then when someone say, "Why have you chosen this?" then sort of I get a bit like, I haven't chosen this. Why would I choose this? Yes, there are things with Asperger's that I'm very thankful for, like my ability to focus. Like I can uh, on the things that interests me, I have an incredibly clear focus, so I can get very good at it. But it's also so much problems. So I haven't chosen this. Why would I choose to be a burden on society? Why would I choose to create all these problems for my mother? And there are people with a lot more serious conditions than that. It's like, I know one woman that said that she had been suffering from cancer, and she got very depressed because she's into the new age sphere, and she was constantly told, yeah, but you have chosen this, either by karma or by, in NLP it is that sort of you experience some sort of trauma, and this affects your energy system. This trauma can be in this life, it can be in a former life, it can be during when you are an embryo, and this or it can be inherited, and this trauma then shapes the way you think, and then you create all sorts of illnesses. All your problems are created from that trauma. But yeah, and others say that it's you choose it because it's what you need to learn, and so on and so forth. There's a million different versions to it. And this woman, she felt so bad because she was saying, I'm putting my family through hell because my husband and my kids, they worry about me because she had cancer. She could have died. Is the economic load now? Of course, in Norway we have Medicare, so it's not the same as in the States. But yes, here. But it's still expensive because of all the travel, all of it. And she felt so bad because she said, I haven't chosen this. Why would I choose to have this horrible illness that could kill me, which could leave my children without a mother? And I think that a lot of people within the New Age, occult, and pagan communities will think like that because no, I'm not trying to paint the idea that we choose our own fate, that negative things that happen to us is for a reason. I don't want to paint that in a bad light because it can also be extremely empowering. Instead of sitting there and saying, I am a victim of circumstances, you can say that, okay, my soul, my inner being has created this situation for me to learn, because at some point of some high consciousness I has looked at my situation as a whole and decided that I need to learn this. It is important for me to be sick. It's important for me to be poor. It's important for me to have this phobia or whatever ails you. And I have chosen it, so now I have to own it and learn from it. I think that can be an extremely powerful idea. So I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater here. But at the same time, I think it's a bit dangerous ideas because it sort of leaves the blame of things on the person. Sometimes I think it is also good to be able to say that shit happens. I have Asperger's because for some reason I was born this way. My father has some of the same issues. I might have inherited it from there. It might have been some trauma in my early development which has caused it. We don't know what causes Asperger's syndrome. We know it is inheritable. But yes, that I have somehow that on one side thinking that I have chosen this. I am my higher self, or through some trauma, and my mind is protecting itself against it, whatever. I have chosen it. In one way it's empowering because then I feel like I can take control. But at the same time it fills me with guilt that have somehow chosen to be this way. And of course it does negatively affect those around me. Not that I'm saying that I'm just a burden, but like I'm 30 years old and I still am very, very dependent on my mother. I live on my own and such. I don't live in a basement, but I call her every day. And like just today I had this problem that in Norway it is free to import books. You can buy as many books as you want from other nations and you don't pay toll for it. But because I have bought role-playing game books, the name of the company has game in it, and I assume it is computer games or some such, so they have a toll on it. And I tried to call the nice lady and explain the situation, and get the toll removed. And I didn't handle that social situation, so I had to go to my mother and have her help me. Normal 30 years old doesn't need that. It is difficult for my mother to, for example, decide, okay, I'm going to go on a vacation. Because then she has to make sure that there's a health system in place if I should need it, because I do have a greater need of help than a normal 30-year-old. And it makes me feel bad to say that I have chosen to put myself in a situation so that my mother can't, who is 60 years old and is a fantastic lady and has sacrificed so much for me and for others, that she can't just pack her bags and go on a vacation like she deserves, because she has to be available so she can take care of me. To say that I have chosen that fills me with guilt and, quite frankly, some anger. At the same time, the idea that I've chosen it also fills me with the idea that if I have chosen this, if it's my choice, then I'm not a victim. I can take care, I can control it. And I think that the main difference between if such an idea becomes positive or negative lies in what you see as the basis of the choice. Basically, if you say that my soul has chosen this life because of something it needs, and it has chosen that between lives or whatever, for karma, then it's sort of less aggravating, it causes less guilt, because then my soul would have chosen to incarnate in with other souls that also needs to learn from the same problems I have. Then it's not like the person I am now, this combination of body, mind and soul, has chosen to have this problem. So then I think it's more on the empowering side, and I can look at what am I going to learn? How am I going to benefit the most from the incarnational choices my soul has made? And because I don't think that my higher consciousness, when it sits between lives and think, what am I gonna learn? That it would be a selfish bastard completely and say, okay, I'm just gonna incarnate here, just don't give a damn about other souls, here I come. I think it would then sit and think, I need to learn this. I need to be incarnated in someone with Asperger's syndrome so that I can learn lessons based on that. I need this particular person, and I need her to be in the environment that I was born in. Because those souls too need to learn from this person, just as I am learning from them, if you get my drift. So I think that that is a positive idea. And I don't think that causes guilt in the same way. But with, for example, an NLP, the point would be, I have chosen Asperger, and through their therapies, I could get rid of it, because then I could let go of the traumas that hold me back and makes me keep it. Then it is much more of a, I won't say conscious, but still, then it's much more of an me as I am now in this moment chooses to have Asperger's, or someone chooses to have cancer, or someone chooses to be poor, or someone chooses to have a car accident and kill a kid, and so on and so forth. They are choosing it because they can't let go of a trauma. Then that it's much more like saying, okay, you are a misogynist pig because you can't let go of your negative feelings for your mother not giving you enough love as a child. Of course, then it's not completely their fault, because you shouldn't just ignore psychological trauma, but it's still, they don't give, they don't release this trauma, and therefore they are that way, which places a lot more guilt on that person than if than the assumption that, okay, my soul shows some perimeters of the life it was going to live. I don't know if I am able to explain myself and what I mean good enough, because it's an emotional topic, but I just wanted to sort of just put it out there. Discussion of, is it positive or not to have an idea that every bit of suffering that you might go through, and every bit of positive too, is a choice that you choose your life path completely. And I would say that I'm parted on it, because on one side, like I said, it's an extremely powerful idea that I'm I'm not coincidences doesn't happen. I've chosen this, and of course, if you have chosen it, then you can change it. But at the same time, I think it can give a lot of guilt and negative feelings, that why you would choose to put yourself and others in a negative situation. I think it depends a lot on how the belief is formed, like I said. If it is basically, you aren't giving up your traumas, you are currently choosing this, then I see that as negative. I still don't think it's completely negative, because I do think you can use that to get out of negative situations, that you can use that in a therapeutic sense. But I think you should be a lot more careful with saying, you has chosen to have cancer. You have cancer because you can't let go of these negative emotions. Or you have chosen to be poor because you can't let go of these negative emotions. Because you can't let go of those negative emotions, you can't put food on your kid's table. I think you should be a lot more careful at saying that than saying your soul has decided it needs to learn something from cancer, or being poor, or being in a car accident, or whatever woes. And so your higher self at some point chose this path, but now you, as a being of flesh and blood, mind and soul, has to deal with it as a human being. I think that's, you can be saying that won't generate as much negativity and don't have the same dangers as the other version. Now, I might be completely out and picking berries on this, but yeah, that's how I currently feel about it. And like I said, my feelings on this could change, because right now I'm just have a million thoughts in my head. But yeah, I just wanted to get it out there. So what do you think about the notion that we choose our own fate? We choose all the good things that happen in our life and all the negative things. Do you believe this? And if you believe it, do you feel guilt then when negative things happen to you, or that negative things happen to those around you because of some negative circumstance of yours? Well, that is what I had on my mind right now. So have a great day, and blessed be.